Okay, Nicholas.
Good afternoon, everyone. Rawan, are we ready to start? Rawan, are we good to start, or are we waiting for other attendees to join?
Sorry, I don't see Rawan right now, but she should enter the room in a few seconds. Okay. So we've been set to wait a little bit so that everyone can really join the room, because we're still waiting.
Yeah, that's why I was checking with Rawan,
Yes.
just to make sure that we're not wasting anybody's time.
Yes. No, don't worry. I mean, maybe we can just wait 5 more minutes and then we could start. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Sorry for being late. It took a while to transfer me to the room. I would like to introduce our speaker for the breakout room, Ms. Manal Khalid. Ms. Manal is the Executive Director of ATTA, the Adventure Travel Trade Association in the MENA region. Manal focuses on expanding the reach and impact of ATTA's work through developing and facilitating and networking and professional growth opportunities with various travel organizations, media contacts, tourism boards, and their representatives at all levels. Manal has led different sustainable tourism projects across the MENA region that address the multi-dimensional nature of tourism, as well as the complexity of the stakeholders networks it involves. I would like to remind you of a few points that we need to make sure we understand during this session. Manal will do a presentation right now. The discussions and speech will be in English. We don't have a translation in this room. So whoever would like to speak in another language, I'm sure between all of us, we will find somebody to translate. And if there is anything that we are not capable of translating immediately, I would advise you to put it in the chat box and we will email you with answers. In regards to questions, I would like to ask everyone to hold their questions till the end so that we have a fruitful discussion and a clear presentation. A small reminder, we only have 35 minutes to complete this discussion, so let's try to be as brief as possible and getting so that we all get to our aim from this presentation. Manal, I hand on the speech to you. Thank you very much for attending, everyone.
Thank you, Rawan, for the introduction. Rawan, I've been having some problems with sharing the screen, so I hope, let me know if it stops sharing again, because it keeps kicking me in and out from the sharing the screen and presentation.
It's clear for now. If you face any problems, I will share from my side, no worries.
Okay, thank you very much. Again, a very, very interesting morning. I love the presentations from all the partners. Actually, I'll go back to the library of the Medusa and look for these presentations. A lot of good information. And one of the things I like about all the presentations shared, it was fresh information. It's all new data. And I believe in post-COVID, data will be one of the key ways that we can actually do better planning for the products. So as you know, in this workshop or in this breakout room, we're talking about the needs of travelers and how to build these needs into our business planning. Rawan, I'm back again to having the problem, no control.
Okay. I will share my presentation from my side, the presentation from my side, and you tell me when to click. Sorry, everyone, for the technical issue. Okay.
If you just move to slide 2.
Yes.
The one just right after that.
Mm-hmm. Manal, can you see my screen?
Sorry. No.
Okay.
I wonder if they can.
Can everybody let us know? Can anyone let us know?
Okay. I'm having control again on the screen now, Rawan. So whatever you did, it worked. It gave me control. So it should be good. Thank you again. Sorry, everyone, for these glitches. Now, the past year has been extremely difficult for everyone, especially those of us working in the tourism industry. I mean, leisure travel has been the first sector of tourism to be hit hard. Cancellation in leisure travel was followed by cancellation and postponing of major international exposition, conferences, sporting events all across the globe. Tourists started to have severe concerns over personal finances, fear of catching the virus if they travel. And of course, and unfortunately, leisure travel became not a priority for most people. Now, if we want to install confidence and encourage people to travel, we need to look at what are the attitudes of the travelers, or as they call them in this case, the consumer, because attitudes are not only affected, or needs are not only affected in leisure travel, it's in every decision they make for spending their pound. So we need to look how the consumer attitudes is toward our industry, the travel industry. How has it changed in response to the pandemic? And that's why today we are looking at the post-COVID-19 traveler needs from the short to the medium term. Research conducted by ETTA and many other organizations in the past months showed that consumers or tourists fear getting sick while traveling, and this fear is higher than when they think about activities they can go home. So they're not worried about catching the virus while they're shopping in local stores as much as they're concerned about it happening while they're traveling. And hence, international travel has been seen as dangerous, and definitely more dangerous than domestic travel. A high percentage of consumers believe it's irresponsible to travel until the virus is under control, and that it's not worth the risk of taking a vacation until the world returns to a sense of normalcy, which until now, travelers, tourist destinations cannot agree what is this sense of normalcy that we are looking at. What is this new normal that will make us all feel confident? However, the desire to return to a new normal is very evident and strong in every single research is done. Actually, even research done by non-trade, non-tourism organizations showed the result that leisure travel is the top activity they miss most. That's what people are looking for. And it shows that once consumers will see signs of world recovery, they will start planning for travel. And that's why these specific needs that will help them to, or incentivize them to start the planning, are very important for us to include in our strategy. So things that have been stressed on by travelers have been hygiene. Hygiene is non-negotiable. It's nothing that we can compromise. And regardless of the nationality, regardless of the source market you're dealing with, it's non-negotiable. They're looking for services to be contactless. And that's why I say contactless everything. Social without crowding. Yes, they want the engagement. Yes, they want the interaction, but they don't want the crowding. Care is the new service and value is the base currency. Now, let's dig deeper into each one of these needs. When we say hygiene is non-negotiable, travelers are expecting to see hygiene in every aspect of the product or the service they will use while they are on the ground. And by the way, they expect to see it in our communications. It's not only enough to say we have it, they also want to have it more visible. And that's why communicating what we're doing for hygiene is very important. Now, this focus on hygiene and protection will let us see a lot of new travel accessories that will be in demand. And we're expecting to have them in our destination according to the needs of the source market. What do they call personal protection equipment, the PPE, is one of the things they'll be looking for at a destination as they leave their source market. And of course, there'll be demand for hygiene standards and certification. They want something they trust. They want something they relate to that will give them the assurance that it is actually happening. For contactless is everything, travelers are expecting to have the ability to register, check in, pay through mobile and virtual contactless solutions. And actually, this could be one of the decisive things that makes them choose one destination on another on the short term, because again, they'll be seeing this as a way to offer them more safety. And of course, along with offering the digital services, they want to be assured that their identity is protected while we're offering them these social services. For those of you who have been involved in some forms of domestic tourism or have received some international groups, you would have seen what kind of requests you're receiving. You're looking at FITs, independent travelers, you're looking at small groups traveling together, families, or what we call creating their own bubble. And they feel safer as they move in these small groups. They expect from us, whether we're service providers, activity providers, accommodation managers, that we will always be planning ahead to make sure that we're avoiding crowds at all costs. And of course, there'll be higher demand for off the beaten path experiences. I've seen some different tour operators invest the past month in designing new experiences and testing new experiences to be ready for the demand that we're expecting to see, hopefully, and keeping the fingers crossed by Q4 for this year. When we say CARE is the new service, there's an expectation that as human beings, we are actually caring for each other. It's the main characteristic of services and experiences they want to see. They're expecting that companies and different brands will continue to be good members of the society. They look after the community where they work, and most important of all, they look after their staff. How they treat their staff and offer their staff personally the hygiene and health and safety protection or support during the pandemic is a key thing that helps them or gives them reassurance that they will also be taken care of. And then when we say value is the base currency, travelers are more focused on the value of the travel experiences. That's what they're seeking now, the experience that they will get out from the itineraries or the products they will purchase from us. The experience, the enrichedness of this experience, when it has the different factors that we have discussed, will then give the value to this experience and will help them evaluate if this is the right price or suitable for them or not. Travelers are willing to spend more on experiences, are willing to invest in these experiences, and maybe, I won't say comparable, but look at different standard of accommodation that will help them then invest the price of the tour in the experiences. And they're looking for innovation. They don't want just a simple program they can just pick up off the internet from one of the popular sites. They want to find something that can be tailored for them, that will handle their needs when it comes to their emotional and wellness side, and self-enhancing, especially when we talk about adventure traveler. Pre-COVID, wellness and emotional support and self-enhancing has been one of the main factors that affects the choice of destination. And now it is even a stronger factor. There's no right or wrong. That's what I would love to mention. There's no right or wrong. There's no specific policy that we stick to. Traveler needs are very dynamic. They keep changing. Level of demand on the needs and the importance of these needs can shift from one source market to another. And that's why as an operator, as a service provider, as an accommodation provider, we need to rebound and see how do we rebuild. Because we know we have to be adaptable, we have to be creative, we have to work together, because the boundaries and the expectations have changed. And that's why continuous planning cannot be stopped. We cannot say we'll resume planning when work is back. We actually have to start planning now, start being creative, and see means of us working together. And some of the top questions we need to take while we are designing our strategy is realizing as an operation, and this is something personal, each operation needs to build for itself through its own strategy. How do we respond to these traveler needs? Are we keeping up to date with these traveler needs? Because they are changing. These traveler needs are changing. And that's why we keep saying it's short to medium term planning. We do not know what will happen on the long term planning. We know on the long term, sustainability is a key issue. How their trip is being sensitive to the sustainable needs of the community is a long-term part of the long-term planning that we need to take into consideration. And of course, what are the challenges and opportunities we will meet for growth? Growth will have some challenges, but yet it brings in new opportunities. We're going to see the way destinations are chosen and regarded will be different than what it was before. If we follow the right trends and the right needs, and we then use the resource of our connection, our network, our team to see how we plan to these needs, it will bring in opportunities for growth. We're open now for questions and answers, or for sharing comments and experiences. I see there are a couple of questions here.
So everybody can open their cameras and unmute themselves if they wish to speak. For non-English speakers, you can type your question, and we will ask one of you guys also to translate if possible.
I'm following up on the chat to see if we have any questions coming in, or if someone would like, if you would like to actually ask your question rather than chat, write in the chat, please feel free to do so. If anyone would like to share their experiences, if you have done any planning, if you have received whether international travelers or domestic travelers, and you touched with them some of the new experiences you planned according to the needs, and you would love to share your experience, that will also be really good, because exchanging information experiences is actually very crucial at this current stage. So if you feel like sharing your experience, it will also be very useful. Eleonora, do you want to I see Eleanor raising her hand. Yeah, you're on mute.
Hello, everyone, and nice to meet you. Yeah. Actually, me and my colleague, we are participating here today in this webinar as we are part of MedStars project. I don't know if you know about it. So I'm from Sardinia, I'm Italian, but actually living in Amman. And our project, actually we are new to the market. I've been working in tourism field back to Italy. And now we are developing our startup idea where we would like to offer a sustainable and experiential travel that really goes beyond the mainstream offer in the market. So for this, for example, we chose 5 countries, and Jordan is one of these. And we are trying to, actually, we are developing our business plan. That's why I'm in this room. And we are trying to figure out how to propose adventure activities or activities that are out of the mainstream packages. So it was so nice and interesting for me to hear a presentation, and I hope we can soon cooperate together.
Absolutely. What are the destinations you're working on in addition to Jordan?
So it's Jordan, Palestine, Saudi Arabia, Tunisia, and Algeria. So
it's mainly Arab-speaking or parts of the Middle East and North Africa. And your travelers will be regional or will be international? I mean, are you focused on a certain source market, or you're open for all markets?
Yeah. Actually, we will start from Sardinian and Italians. Our pilot project was on the opposite, so to promote the inbound tourists, so specifically to Sardinia. Then we realized that there were some obstacles, starting with visa, for example. So we decided, to make it outbound, first of all, and then maybe, inshallah, to make it inbound. We decided we are in love with the Middle East. We speak Arabic. So I think this can be even the added value to our experience. And since I'm living in Jordan, I would really love to promote Jordan in a different way. I mean, giving people the chance not to see just Petra, Wadi Rum, or Dead Sea, the place itself in connection with the local community.
Okay. So can any of the tour operators who are attending the session with us, tour operators can share their experiences and it goes on your platform? Is that the way it works? So for example, we have some of the Jordan-based tour operators. They would approach you and they share their experiences to sell through your platform. Is that the business model? Okay, this is great. Can you write in the chat here your platform or how people to reach? Because I think this is a great opportunity for some tour operators or accommodation providers or experience providers who are with us to find ways to cooperate.
Yeah, actually, at the moment, we are in a pre-treatment phase with MedStars. So we still have to open our platform, but we are already starting to get in touch with local tour operators in order to get their offers. And then what we want is to offer our services in order to give space to the tourists to make a self-tailored program. Anyway, I can leave my email.
Yes, please do that, because I think this is a really great opportunity. The more we can market and get our experiences out, it will be good. And if your platform will have a clear message saying, or you're targeting certain type of tour operators, it can actually be very useful. So for some of the attendees with us here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for that. Thank you very much for that. Anybody else would like to share their experiences or comments?
So maybe Manal, you could tell us more about what you have experienced in the past year. What solutions have you seen, and how can we learn from them?
I have to say that the last year, all the focus has been on the health and hygiene and health and safety protocols. This has been the #1 concern. And it's interesting, as much as everybody has been publicizing them or publishing a lot of what they do, still the confidence of the traveler is not where it should be. So something is wrong in the communication, and this is not only MENA region, we're talking about a global trend that we've been seeing. Travelers worldwide do not feel confident about the health and safety protocols that have been published. They feel there is lack of transparency. They feel sometimes that it is more is said and less is being done. Okay, so this means we have not yet installed or succeeded to gain the traveler's experience. And this has been reported from different destinations. Some of the active destinations, let's take the Med, for example, last summer has been Greece. Greece has been very active. It opened up for travelers from different areas. There has been, of course, visa issues and the safe corridors and things like that. They have had a busy summer, but of course, it put the numbers a bit high for them as a population. And that's why, again, conversations like that came up, that has we been using the right health and safety protocols. Same thing for UAE. Dubai has also increased its numbers, has encouraged travelers to come in, and has had also very high and strict health and safety regulations. But again, we've seen the surge of the numbers. Between, yes, applying the regulations, but the numbers are going up. And that's why we've seen a lot of people going into vaccines, you know, feeling if we take the vaccine, we should be good and we should be able to travel. Of course, again, no data to prove that. This is the hope we have. This is what we're focused on. Dr. Talib was talking this morning that he would love not to see vaccine discrimination, because if it would end up with this vaccine passport, digital passport, or whatever, the issue is not only you cannot come in unless you're vaccinated. What we're seeing now, that some international tour operators are saying we cannot come into your destination unless your staff is vaccinated. Okay, This is an issue that has been rising now for some markets. That's raising concern. And the reason we're saying it's discrimination, because not all the countries have the vaccine available. It's not about the choice of saying, I will register to take the vaccine or not. It's about actually saying, I want to take it, but it's not there. That has been a new trend that we're seeing as a demand from international buyers, saying that will come into destination that's vaccine. And by the way, it's not publicly announced. It's some sort of the new negotiations that tour operators have been seeing as they do their contracts. Questions come in as saying, has your staff been vaccinated? What's the vaccine plans in your country? When do you think it will happen? And we see that this can create some resistance. Of course, the increase of digital solutions, contactless, and what kind of digital solutions you're offering is a key. Some are claiming, some research is stating that it could be a short-term demand and the focus on it might go lighter as we go forward. But actually, with the number of solutions coming out and the ease and financial protection it's offering, and how it's tied with the travel insurance and these kind of things, it's actually increasing or encouraging these solutions to continue. And again, for the MENA region, what we're seeing as a demand by the stakeholder community when we talk about engagement and sustainability, handling more specific issues of the communities rather than going for just global issues. So globally, we're all consumed with climate. Everybody is focused on climate, and we're trying to see how we control climate emissions. But again, when you go from one decision to another, you'll find that the issue that's keeping the stakeholder community more occupied might not be enlarged to the community. It might be something like gender gap. It can be something like skills advancement. So, and that's the transparency the traveler is looking for. Yes, it would be good to talk about we're fighting climate and we're supporting climate, but they need to know what's occupying your stakeholders. What kind of engagement are you doing with these stakeholders to solve their problems? The traveler now is reading more than before and is focused on reading correct information. So they don't want to see something, they don't want to see marketing lines that gets them to book a tour, and then they come on the ground and they find the gap of what you are advertising is huge compared to what is actually happening on the ground. This transparency across all aspects of the tour, starting from pre-planning, starting from what we talk about in engagement, on practices, on innovation, on uniqueness of what we're offering, controls a lot of how we create our product. And that's why I'm saying trends and needs will keep changing. How we keep ourselves educated on these continuously changing needs, that's important. Second, trends and needs of source markets will be different. So if you're working on the getting travelers from the German market and from the British market and from the Italian market, do some distinction. You cannot offer it the same. There's no one size fits all. We will have to do more work and see what are the needs of each one of these source markets and how it's changing. Of course, we have a benchmark to follow, but then addressing certain needs and sensitivity of these needs will control the program. And that's why we come back to innovation, tailoring, designing. It seems like a lot of work, but it's the right way to attract now the FIT traveler and the small groups traveler.
Yeah, so basically we need to find the right balance between all the new trends and customize it per country, per market, so that we really get people into our countries. We have Ayman who raised his hand from Experience Jordan.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hello guys, hello everyone.
Hello Ayman.
Thank you for the lovely session. I'm really enjoying listening to you guys more than even commenting. I just want to comment on Manal's point about being transparent at this stage. As an inbound tour operator, we're expecting, or we're hoping to receive our first clients in 2 weeks. And now we're going through all the logistics and the operational parts, like on the ground here, like getting permits for our representatives, for the clients to move around the country during the lockdown, all of these things. And we're finding, of course, how difficult is that at this stage, since we don't have the protocols ready yet. We talked to the Minister of Tourism a couple of days ago, and he the next week or so. But now, as you see, the numbers of cases are increasing, and there might be another lockdown, or like a short lockdown for a small. We have to be prepared for every basically new restriction or new procedure. So just sharing our experience on how complicated is like preparing for the tours at this stage. However, being very transparent at this stage was a key for us, honestly, to make sure our clients trust us and confirm basically their tours with us at this stage. They see basically that we have a lockdown on Friday. We have long curfew hours starting from 7 p.m. till 6 in the morning. But communicating these information to the clients ahead of or before even they hear about these information from the media or through their embassies in Jordan was a key for us to earn or to gain their trust at this stage. So that showed them that we're prepared and we were ahead of everything. We designed our tour based on the lockdown in Jordan. So, for example, during the lockdown days, they're staying in Wadi Rum. So they're able to do their tour in the desert. All their every day they're arriving at their hotel before the curfew hours. We managed to have our guides stay with them at the hotel, basically, so they don't feel that they're alone in the hotel. So the guide is going to be with them every night. It's just basically figuring out the logistics at this stage. It was very difficult, but so far we're managing. I would say we've been documenting everything to make sure that like the first clients we're receiving are learning experience for us more than anything. We even told the client that we're hosting them almost for free at this stage. We've offered them a huge discount to make it to Jordan, just to train ourselves, to train our staff, to train our guides, to train our Ministry of Tourism on how to handle basically more clients or more guests. I don't like the word clients, more guests in the country. So so now we're just waiting to welcome the first guests in Jordan in 2 weeks, hopefully.
Ayman, this is really, thank you for sharing that. This is very precious information because you applied all the factors. You did the planning, you included transparency, you included innovation, you did your due diligence and an investment. I mean, this is an investment. So actually, thank you for sharing that because sometimes people think it's theories and cannot be applied on the ground, but actually you are a live proof that then when you have done, you employed all these factors, you have found a traveler that was willing to come and be part of the trip or to continue with this. And I think this is what we're focusing on now. We're looking for a certain type of travelers that have the awareness. They're willing to have a conversation. They will invest the time. They will invest the effort to learn and be part of the planning of the tour. I think it's a bit like some co-creation happening there. And I really keep the fingers crossed to see your trip and people arriving safely and nothing wrong goes there.
Thank you.
I can sense the anxiety that will come with that, but it's definitely worth planning. And I think you should share your experience once it's done. I mean, it's a learning experience for everyone, not just for tour operators, but also for travelers. I mean, your travelers will be a sample for other travelers on what can be done during the COVID. You can travel. It will not be the normal traveling. It will not be seamless traveling, but it can happen. So thank you for sharing this experience.
Thank you. And sorry, just one more thing to add.
Sure.
That, for the type of clients that we're receiving, just in case we have other tour operators in this session and they want to know what kind of travelers are we receiving, they're vaccinated. Both they're a couple basically. They're both vaccinated. We have 2 tours in 2 weeks, so 2 clients, then 4 clients in the same month. They're all vaccinated. They're in their 60s and 70s. They're coming to do a long hike, 5 days hike along with some sightseeing. They asked about our guides and drivers if they're going to be vaccinated. We said that we can't guarantee that, but we guarantee that all of our staff is tested 72 hours prior to their arrival, including their guide, and their guide will be quarantined in the hotel with them. And he's not, or she's a female, right? She's not allowed to see anyone during the tour except the client. We guaranteed that, and same for the driver. But for the other suppliers, like the camping crew, the team basically who are providing support, anyone who's going to be in direct contact, they're going to be tested. We signed a deal with one of the labs in Jordan to provide us with testing in the desert. We're paying extra for that, but they send their team to the desert to get the clients tested. So that's some sort of a luxury kind of experience or service we're offering. If they don't want to pay extra for that, we send them either to Aqaba in the south or in the capital, to Amman, basically, to get tested. And what else? And yeah, we actually, how did we get these clients? We challenged our team actually to, we have, of course, the sales team. I challenged them early this year to see who's going to be the first to have their first clients, basically, or the first guests in Jordan. And now, yeah, they're all motivated to sell the safest, zero hassle kind of tour. And yeah, that's basically
excellent. Actually, you created Experience Jordan own bubble, basically. You created your own.
It is a bubble, actually. Yeah.
PG bubble. So, but I'm glad that the guide and the travelers and staff are. I mean, I know this takes from their personal time, and their sometimes you do need to breathe and switch off from the clients for a while. So this is actually taking from their personal time, and I'm glad to see that they are willing to invest in that.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
thank you again.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing this very precious experience.
Thank you, Ayman. Very, very interesting. But however, I want to remind everybody that we will be leaving the room in 2 minutes. So please come on with your questions. Whoever have a question, we have a minute or two to discuss. Yasar?
Yasar.
Hi, how are you? I'm a tour operator in Jordan. I just want to wish Ayman all the luck. We didn't have clients yet, but I have a small concern that some of our partners in Germany, especially, they have their own protocol. What if the country did not meet some of their requested protocol, or the 3-4 stars hotels in Petra, Wadi Rum, in these small, in these areas? I have this concern actually that we won't be able to meet their protocol.
Have they sent you the protocols and you gone through them? I mean, do you have like a written document where you can make a risk assessment?
Yeah,
or is it just
they are planning to, but also since their country are changing, it's keep on changing. So I'm not sure by the time they will be able to send their clients if they will do it again, or